Welcome. This is Lynne Franklin, and today I have with me Reverend Denise VanVliet. Welcome, Denise.
Hi, Lynn. Thanks for having me.
I have to tell you that Denise has a very interesting background. She's been an ordained minister since 1987. She's been a certified sign language interpreter since 1996. And in 2001, Denise was diagnosed with a fast-spreading deadly form of cancer. She realized through this crisis that you must heal all of the self, not just the body. After becoming licensed as a massage therapist in 2008 and completing her Doctor of Divinity degree in 2009, Denise credits getting cancer as a blessing, teaching her to take responsibility for her own choices. She wrote about her journey to a healing from the inside out in her book, Embrace the Bitch Within, and BITCH is her acronym for Being in Total Connection with Herself. Denise will be releasing her new book, The Way of the Modern Mystic, in spring of 2012. She's also the creator of a 2-day workshop called Runda 3, Healing Through the 3 Levels of Consciousness. So, Denise, I'm really curious about this Runda 3. Tell me exactly what it is.
Well, Runda 3 is a tool for mystics and healers to use to heal themselves and to heal others, to energetically balance, understand human behavior from the energy body's viewpoint, and to awaken and develop their own psychic skills. So it's an all-encompassing, all 3 levels of human consciousness inclusive, and it's become a 2-day workshop.
So tell me what led you to create Runda 3.
Actually, I think Runda 3 found me. After my diagnosis of cancer, I did a lot of self-healing work, a lot of work from the inside out. And in 2010, my husband and I decided to go to Ireland for our 25th wedding anniversary. And this was a journey with other people. There was a group of 6 of us. A couple of women have either lived there or been to Ireland several times, and they wanted to go to many of the sacred sites in Ireland. And we went to Locrue. We went to several of the sacred sites that have been dated to be, 500 years older than the pyramids. And so my husband and I thought, you know what, this is a sacred journey. And 3 days before we went to one site called Locrue, which is in Kells, about, I want to say, northwest of Dublin. Very, very old sacred site, and it's also called the Hill of the Witch. And 3 days before we were scheduled to visit this site, I was just not feeling well. I was kind of feeling like I was outside my body and not really connected to the ground and just having weird feelings. And when we did get to the site, I was very excited to be there. For some reason, I just felt like I needed to be at this site. And we had to hike up a pretty steep hill. And there was a lot of energy shifts within my body as I was trying to get up this hill. And my husband, he's very athletic, so he was running up the hill. He was up there way before I was. And by the time I got up to the hill, there's these sacred mounds. And there were probably ritual, they think. They don't know a whole lot about Locrue, but they have these 3 or 4 of these sacred mounds, and they face certain directions, and they were related to the rituals of the changes of the seasons and the solstices. One of the mounds, a friend of mine was already up there, and she's like, "Come on, Denise, you got to come up here." And so I headed up the mounds, and I could feel a strong energy surge in my body, and I can feel it coming out the top of my head.
Wow.
My hair was literally standing up, straight up, and I've got a picture of it. It's hilarious. But the energy on this mound was just so powerful. I kind of stayed up there a little bit to kind of take in this really powerful energy, and I felt major shifts happening in my body. We were there kind of checking everything out, and the person who brought us there said, "You know what, let's get together and give an offering. It's just an offering to thank the beings that were there before us and kind of take a moment to take in our surroundings." And so as the offering was going around, it came to me, and I just kind of closed my eyes and said a little prayer and asked for forgiveness and awakening. And I felt this huge surge go through my body. Everybody was done. We turned around to leave the mound, and from there I don't remember anything. Apparently I passed out.
Oh, my word.
My husband would say I had a seizure. Now, I've never had seizures before this point, and I have not had any seizures since. What I think happened was a profound spiritual experience, because from that day forward, I was not the same. And this was at the time where the volcanoes were erupting in Ireland, and they had closed down the airports while we were there, so there was a lot of worry about whether or not we were going to make it home. There was a window of opportunity 3 days later after this incident. We did make it home. So 3 days later, I'm at home, and in meditation, I had an out-of-body experience. And this vision of a totem came to me. And I'll take you to that totem so you can see that yourself. But I thought it was my totem. I thought this was for me because I have participated in Inipi ceremonies before, and that's the sweat lodge, the Native American ceremonies. And I was told, you will be shown your guides, your totems. And so when I saw this very vivid visual picture, I thought it was for me. I went downstairs to my daughter. She's the artist of the family. Her name's Kaylee. And I'm like, Kaylee, I saw this. You have to draw this. And I was literally on her about drawing this. She's like, what's the big deal? I'm like, I don't know. You have to draw this. You have to get this on paper before it's gone out of my mind. And she did, and she drew this totem. And I thought, okay, this is mine, this is for me. But 3 days later, all of this information in meditation started literally flowing through me. I mean, to me it felt like, how you download information onto your computer?
Right.
It felt like a download of information on what this totem meant. So do you have access to a computer?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you open up runda3.com, RUNDA 3.com.
Got it.
And do you see the picture of the totem there?
Yes, I do.
There's a rat on the bottom, a wolf in the middle, and a hawk on the top. And what came to me was this is a representation of the 3 levels of consciousness. So the wolf represents our conscious self. This is where the ego lies. And if you think about what wolves do behaviorally, they're looking for when they're going to get their next meal, and they're looking for the next opportunity to procreate, and they're looking to see who's going to be top dog. So they're very much in what's in it for me right now. So that's where our ego lies, within the consciousness of the wolf. And this is where most of us are in when we're awake. We're in this state of consciousness. And the rat represents the subconscious, which is also connected to the collective unconscious, which is what Carl Jung talked about. And if you know rat behavior, they don't see very well, but they know where each other are within an area. You can have several rats in a very large maze in different areas of the maze, and they know where they are, and they're very much connected to each other. And then the hawk representing our higher self, which is also connected to whether you want to call it God, source, universal mind, whatever you want to call that energy, it's connected to all that is. So when this information came to me, it was very humbling. I mean, I felt almost like a secret was being revealed to me. And what came out of this meditation was that there are no secrets. Anybody who kept secrets in the past were doing it for power or control. But with this information kind of flowing to us now, and many of us right now are feeling this energetic shift. People talk about a shift in consciousness. They're talking about they can feel something happening right now. And with this comes a deeper awareness, an internal awareness. So that's how Runda 3 came about.
Okay, so tell me what the magic is of the number 3.
The number 3 is a very powerful number. It you know the basic number of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And in numerology, the number 3 means completeness or wholeness. We currently are in a 3-dimensional realm. It's also 3 is a universal number. It's a number of completeness. And it's interesting because 3 kept coming up. It was 3 days before, it was 3 days after, and then another 3 days after, and a series of 3 very profound events. So 3 just kept coming. And then the ultimate was revealing how to heal through the 3 levels of consciousness. And then the word Runda, I thought, you know what do I call this totem? What name do I give it? And everything kept directing me back to Ireland. So I looked up the word secret in the Gaelic language, and it was Runda with the accent on the U. So this is where Runda 3 comes from. And then what it does, what the totem does for us, it brings an awareness and awakening and healing through the 3 levels of consciousness.
So tell me how Runda 3 is different from something like the law of attraction.
You know, the law of attraction is a wonderful, wonderful tool. What it's being used for today is to get things, manifest things, have abundance, which is all really good. However, if you've ever seen like the movie The Secret, or if you've ever read any of the law of attraction books, they'll tell you if you just think positively enough, you'll manifest these things. But if you look at where our subconscious is, if you have something in your subconscious that says, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I don't like myself, whatever it is that you might have in your subconscious, you're not going to manifest these things because you have to go in through the subconscious and then up to manifest what it is you need. So law of attraction is really good to kind of give us an understanding of changing our thoughts and changing the way we look at things, which is awesome. But this takes it to the next level because we really do need to focus in on healing our subconscious. And then the visual I got of that is, you know, have you ever tried to hold a beach ball underwater?
Yes, and not successfully.
Yeah. The beach ball, some people call baggage. I like to call it beach balls because we have this suppressed energy, whether it's emotional baggage or self-talk, whatever it is that we're suppressing, and the water represents our subconscious. It requires a lot of energy to keep these beach balls submerged in the subconscious. So when the visual that I got of is a rat trying to hold beach balls underwater. So it's kind of lightens things up and kind of take a look at yourself in a lighthearted way, not beating yourself up. But when we're able to release these beach balls or our suppressed baggage, if you will, our suppressed emotions, those emotions that we haven't really dealt with, or maybe we're not even aware of, or that our thoughts keep in our subconscious, when we allow those to come up, we're freeing up so much more energy so that we can manifest the things that we want in this reality.
Okay, so explain to me how Runda 3 helps me do that.
You know, it's interesting how this has all evolved. It started out as teaching others who are looking to heal themselves, and others. And it started out as a one-day workshop, and it's transformed into a 2-day workshop. And within the workshop, we go over a lot of different things, especially those that are drawn to become healers, study mysticism, metaphysics, those that even study various forms of shamanism. This can be all incorporated in that, and we go over what the 3 parts of consciousness are, and pretty much in much more detail than what we just discussed. The 3 parts of the body. We have our physical body, but we know that there's more to us than just the physical body. when we're dealing with any kind of dis-ease, it usually manifests itself in the physical body at the very end of something else going on within our energy body, within our emotional body. So we go through and we talk about various ways to find out what's going on in the energy body and the emotional body, and then to deal with those things before they manifest themselves as something in the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also go very deeply into different breathing. And breathing is our most important nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
We can go a month or so without food. We can go maybe 5 to 7 days without water, but we can't go more than 5 minutes without breath. And so we teach various forms of breath work, and then we teach forms of breath work to do when you're healing others, to bring in that prana and to open up the energy. And we do talk about how you can manifest this, but also to connect with that sixth sense, your psychic development, your psychic skills. And I know that the word psychic has a lot of negative connotation to it, so we all naturally have that inner intuition, and we go through exercises to open that up and to trust it, because many of us are taught not to trust our intuition, but to go through different exercises. So all these things benefit you as a participant learning from the inside out. When you know and heal and trust and connect with yourself, what then is projected into your reality is a different picture. It's a healed projection, if you will.
Mm-hmm. So this is for people who wish to heal themselves, as well as for people who are in one of the many different types of healing professions.
Absolutely. And you know, there's a group of people that call themselves light workers, where they work with the light, and this will give them many other tools to enhance their light work. There's Reiki practitioners, and Reiki is prana, or universal energy. There's not Reiki energy and other energy. There's only one energy that we use. And so as Reiki practitioners, you can expand your healing work. And what I found, it's not true of all Reiki practitioners, but a lot of times I'll come across somebody who wants to heal me, but I can feel within them they need their own healing. So with Runda 3, we don't go out and heal anybody. Healing comes from the inside out. I can't heal you, but what I can do is create an environment and give you the tools and understanding of your basic 3 levels of consciousness and how to use that to heal yourself. Nobody can heal you. That has to come from the inside out. And with Reiki, I help them go inside, because Reiki is more of an external healing. This goes from the inside out healing. And there's so many, there's hands-on healing, there's quantum touch healing. There's so many different types of energy healing out there that this is going to take you to a whole new level in your energy work. And this is also excellent for massage therapists or any kind of body worker, craniosacral therapy. And I've also had psychologists and psychiatrists that have taken my class so that they can heal themselves from the inside out as well. And basically, anybody who's interested in healing themselves and learning about the 3 levels of consciousness and how to use that as a tool for self-healing.
And I know, too, that for those who are interested in continuing education credits, the Runda 3 workshop also has those involved.
Absolutely. As a licensed massage therapist, I submitted this course to the NCBTMB, and that's the certifying national body, the National Certification Board for Massage Therapists, for Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork, NCBTMB. And I was approved as a CE provider. And if you are a massage therapist, you can earn 14 CEs for this 2-day workshop. So it's another benefit, and it's not just a class about how to help others, which as women and as healers, we want to help other people. This is a class how to help yourself first. You must, it was Socrates, I believe, who said it, physician, heal thyself. We must heal the self first in order to help others. And it's just like the analogy when you go on a plane, the flight attendant will tell you if the oxygen masks come down, put yours on first and then help the person next to you if they need help, or your loved one next to you. So this is a perfect analogy to live by. We, as women, we're the helpers, we're the healers. We're constantly looking outside of ourselves to help others, but the one that's not getting the healing is ourselves, and so the emphasis is on healing from the inside out.
So tell me a little bit more about the three elements in the totem, the rat, the wolf, and the owl. Now, do we end up, through Runda 3, do we end up dealing with these on an individual basis, or do we get them to talk to each other? How does that work?
Very good point. If you look at the wolf, now, the wolf is where the ego resides.
Which is in the middle between the rat and the owl.
Yep, and...
Or hawk, excuse me.
He is barely touching the hawk, and he is barely touching the rat. So in other words, he's ego. I don't need my higher self, and I don't need my lower self, so to speak. So he'll just barely connect with the two. It's ego. It's what's in it for me. So we learn about when we're in this state of consciousness, we become very much aware of ego. There's a lot of ego bashing out there. Kill the ego, ego's bad, and all that stuff. But what the totem is telling us is that have you ever gone to somebody's house and their dog is just totally out of control and unruly? You don't even want to be in that house?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of how people are who let their ego control things. But the ego is telling us, the wolf is telling us, use me, train me, and I can work for you rather than the other way around, which is what most of us are walking around with ego. You ever come across somebody and you're just totally turned off by them because they're so egotistical and so into themselves? Well, you have an awareness of this, of your own ego and what the ego's role is and what the ego can and can't do for you. Then if you look at the rat, now the rat is part of our subconscious and is connected to the collective unconscious. The rat is reaching up to the ego, to the wolf, saying, connect to me. I need to know what's going on in this three-dimensional world that's happening, because the subconscious doesn't know what's going on within our reality. It believes everything we tell it. If we tell our subconscious we're not good enough, guess what our subconscious is going to do? It's going to create an environment that we're not good enough. If we tell our subconscious that we can't do it, the subconscious is going to create an environment to prove that we're right. So it's reaching up for connection with the world that we deal with. And if you also notice, it's also reaching straight up and has a direct connection to the hawk. And then our hawk is our higher self, which is connected to all that is, that sees things from a much larger perspective. You know, a bird's eye view, if you will. We in our everyday lives, we only see what's right in front of us, just like the wolf is looking right ahead. And it doesn't see what's to the left or to the right. It's only seeing what's right in front of us. Our higher self sees the whole picture. So if we kind of back off from a situation and see it from a higher view, we'll be able to get a full picture of things. So let's just say, like with law of attraction, the wolf says, I want a fancy red car because I want people to look at me and I want to look good and I want to, have the status symbol, ego, ego, ego. But the subconscious has within it, I'm not good enough, I can never have a fancy red car, I can't do that, those kind of things. So if we have in our subconscious mind, it's going to put up to the hawk what it is we're feeding our subconscious mind. So you create a discord, if you will. You're creating a vibrational split. The wolf wants a red car, but you're subconsciously telling the rat, I'm not good enough for a fancy red car, which makes that your reality.
So encouraging communication among these three levels of consciousness is really important.
Encouraging communication and then healing the subconscious, because we have all those beach balls that we're energetically holding underwater, beach balls representing emotional attachments. We can have emotional attachments to past experiences. Let's say we had an experience as a child that traumatized us, and it was a very emotional experience. We didn't know how to deal with that, so we just submerged it in the subconscious. Well, that beach ball tries to rear its ugly head. It tries to come up every once in a while to be dealt with on an energetic level. Well, we just push it right back down. So in Runda 3, we go through several different exercises to allow that beach ball, if you will, to come up and then release. And it's very important because a lot of us have had some pretty traumatic experiences in the past. And these exercises that we do can free up so much more energy so that you can release that energy to your higher self to manifest the things that you want. We still have the memory of the experience, but we don't have the emotional attachment to it. That emotion, emotion, E equals motion, energy in motion. That's all emotions are. It's energy that's trying to move up and out, but we keep suppressing it and pushing it back down into the subconscious. So we learn how the rat behaves, how our subconscious behaves. It believes everything we tell it. It doesn't know the past or the future. See, the wolf, our ego, our current consciousness, only focuses on either the past or the future. The subconscious only knows right now. So right there we create a discord within our three levels of consciousness. There's a natural discord right there. The wolf being in past or future only and the subconscious being in right now. So if we're thinking of something that happened in the past and we're bringing up an old memory, so to speak, the rat is living as if it's happening right now. So this can create physical manifestations, stress, high levels of cortisol, adrenaline, emotions coming up, trying to come up. So we kind of go through sometimes just bringing awareness to just that is very healing.
And you've alluded to this, but I want to give you the opportunity to make it clear. Runda 3 is a good solution for whom?
Anybody who wants healing. Anybody who wants to understand from an energetic point of view. It's interesting, we have a lot of data from a physical point of view, the psychology of the brain and the mind. But this takes us to a deeper understanding of, I don't want to call it mind because most people associate the mind to the brain, but deeper consciousness, how the body responds as opposed to how the mind responds. What's happening in the different energy centers of the body compared to how the brain, in neuroscience, how the brain is responding on a chemical level. This is how the body responds on an energetic level. So we do kind of go back and forth. Okay, this is what we know about the brain on an energetic level, which we're learning more about. We just didn't have the tools to measure these things. But now we're starting to get the tools to measure the energetic levels of, say, the heart center. Heartmath.org has devised a tool to measure the energy coming off the heart center. They've measured it 8 feet off the heart center, 8 to 10 feet. But that's as far as their tool goes. They think that the energy coming off the heart center goes much further than that. So now we're starting to say, you know what? The body is an electrical system. We don't understand electricity. We use it every day. You have your phone plugged into the wall, your TV plugged in. We use electricity every day, but our bodies do too. And so we have this whole electrical system and where the circuits are, and if the circuits are going in reverse, what to do, and if one of the circuits is stopped up, so to speak, how to unstop it so that the energy can move freely.
So tell me how people can get in touch with you if they're interested in taking the Runda 3 workshop.
Oh, thank you. You can go to runda3.com, and that will take you right to my website. It's my author's website, but it will take you right to the Runda 3 webpage. And I will be offering workshops, and if somebody wants to have a workshop in their area, if they have at least so many participants, my goal is to cover my expenses. I'm really not in this to make money. I want to get this information out to people so that they can heal themselves. This information was downloaded to me freely, and I want to give this to others, as many people as possible, so that they can heal from the inside out. And I will be doing workshops. You can also go to ncbtmb.com, I believe, or .org to find out, if there's a class in your area, or contact me directly at the information on my website, runda3.com. And I have my email address there, or it's denise.vanvliet6@gmail.com. But my information will be right there. Or you can give me a call. My number is 630-802-8793, and I'd be happy to answer any questions, because this is such a gift. And for me to realize that this wasn't just for me, but to heal others, was very profound for me. It was something that I felt really honored and blessed to have this come to me.
So Denise, what final thoughts would you like to leave with our listeners today?
I'd like to leave listeners with the thought of, you don't need anything outside yourself. Everything that we have is within us. We just need to know how to access it. And once you know how to access it, the healing ability and the power that we have from within can't be defined, at least not yet, because we're really learning only just now, especially with this energy shift and the shift in consciousness, knowing that it's all from inside, that there's nothing outside of ourselves that can heal us. And it's pretty profound. And as somebody who was face-to-face with death, I chose, this is a personal choice, I chose not to have myself injected with radioactive dye, to have lymph nodes removed, so that the doctor's team can determine if I was going to have radiation, chemotherapy, or both. This is something I chose to do. I just chose to have the tumor removed and then heal from the inside out. And Lynn, that was 10 years ago. So you can do it. It's an individual choice. Nobody tells you from the outside that this is the way you go. This is something that has to come from the inside. And so as a final, encouragement to learn more about Runda 3, or at least to go inside to find your answers, go into your subconscious self. Go into the rat. And most of us can't stand rats.
Right.
We think, oh, ew, rat. Well, if you think about it, most of us don't like to go inside. So isn't that an interesting correlation?
No, because we're afraid of what's scurrying around in there.
Exactly. I loved how you said that. Scurrying around in there trying to, rear its ugly head. But it's not ugly. It's releasing. It's going to release so much energy. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel light, and you're going to heal.
Well, this has been a fascinating conversation with Reverend Denise VanVliet, and she's taken us through Runda 3, Runda, the Celtic for secret, and 3, which represents the 3 levels of consciousness. So, Denise, thank you so much for enlightening us today.
Thank you for having me, Lynn.
And I'd encourage our listeners to go to runda3.com, find out more, and get in touch with Reverend Denise VanVliet to get their questions answered. Thanks for joining us today.